Welcome back to the channel, YouTube fam. The scenery's changed. We got some exciting things to go over. But first, let's stop at the truck. Check out the social media stickers, right? All right. So over here to this side of the house is where we're going to be putting the brand new shop. All right. So we got a little bit of footage here. The guy's clearing the land, even though it rendered funny, but it's here anyway. What's up, social media fam? Today's an exciting day. Some of you may know that I've already moved to South Carolina, and I'm currently without a shop. But as you can see, there's some activity going on back here behind me, and today's the day. We're breaking ground on setting up forms for the new shop. So let's see, there's not a lot to show yet, but I'll show you what there is to see. So we got the team out here preparing. We got the team out here getting ready to lay the slab for the building. So I'm pretty darn excited. Yeah, man. You can see the guys pushing around this red clay stuff. I gotta tell you, I freaking hate red clay. I really do. Since we've been here in South Carolina, it is the bane of our existence. So these guys right here, they are digging the trenches to make the footer for the slab that the building is going to sit on. And these fellows right here, they're adding plumbing because we're going to have a bathroom and a kitchen in our new shop. And we got a little bit of vapor barrier situation going on here where we're going to have a vapor barrier under the slab to prevent the groundwater from seeping up through the concrete. And this right here was the best day ever when the concrete truck showed up, and we had to get a pump because the weather was touch and go, and we had to reschedule several times. And you can see that all this clay kind of looks like whipped icing. Okay, so because of that, we couldn't get the cement truck close enough to the site, so we had to rent a pump to get the cement back there. Now, I've included a lot of footage of the slab being constructed because a 30 by 70 slab is quite the undertaking. And these guys did a great job. And they were there for the better part of a whole day knocking this out. All right. And then you can see me, pestering people because, well, I was excited. So I was asking questions and checking out the whole process. I mean, how often am I going to building this big, How often am I going to have a slab this big poured? But these guys really knew what they were doing. The slab came out very good. The surface on it was very, very smooth when they were done. Love it. And this is a local team of guys from South Carolina. So we had a really hard time finding a contractor to do the slab for the building. It just so happens that Carlos and his team were working on other houses here in the neighborhood, and I just stopped one day and asked them if he'd be willing to give me a quote, and lo and behold, he gave me a quote. It was a really good price, and he had done, everybody else in the neighborhood that had used him was very happy with his services, so we went with it, and they did a great job. Here you can see them power trialing. And once again, the weather is not cooperating. As you can see, they're removing these leaves so that they can trowel the surface. But as fast as they remove them, more leaves come. So they had to break out a leaf blower to try to get rid of all those leaves. So this is the day that the building arrived. Okay, so the entire building is on that trailer. I got to tell you, when it got there, it didn't look like there was enough material on there to build a building that size. But I was wrong. I was wrong. And these guys, I think it was only 3 of them, and these guys were a pretty good team too. I mean, they really had their systems down. I was a little worried that they only sent 3 people, but these 3 guys, man, they really knew what they were doing. All right, they had some really interesting systems that they had employed to get this process done. I mean, I certainly wouldn't have wanted to do this by myself. No, absolutely not. So they had to unload all the parts one by one, by hand, of course. And these pieces with the look like little spike strips, those are the rails that the legs pop into. Now, you can see us bringing these doors out from the house, right? And the doors that come with the building are mobile home doors. And the problem with the mobile home doors is that 2.5-inch steel tubing, right, will run across the door frame, run across the threshold if you go with those doors. So I didn't want that, so I had to get regular doors. Now this guy right here, what he's doing is he's pre-assembling the legs to the trusses, and he's doing that on the ground. And that works for all of the trusses except for the ones that fit over the garage, over the roll-up door, which you'll see in a little bit. And all of these rails are attached with these, I guess they're expanding concrete fasteners. Now this was really a treat. These guys really had a good system down for raising up these truss assemblies. I'm going to go over that in more detail in just a little bit. You may notice that I had to get some boots because the clay was just ridiculous. I had ruined I don't know how many pairs of shoes, but if I wanted to walk around and shoot video in this soup, that's what I call it, tomato soup, I had to get some boots. Now, I did pay to have the building insulated as it was constructed. And I'll talk about it later about how I was a little disappointed by it, but I'm glad I did it anyway. Now, this is the system that the guys use to raise those truss assemblies, right? So what he's going to do is he's going to attach this strap to the center of the truss assembly, okay? And then the three of them are going to pick it up and walk over to the building. And in that, just a little bit ago, you saw one of the guys attaching this little skate thing to the rails, right? So they're going to do is they're going to bring it over and they're going to drop the legs on top of this hinge piece on this trolley or skate or whatever you want to call it. And then the guy in the middle, he's going to grab that strap and he's going to climb up over the ladder and he's going to use that like a pulley almost. And he's going to pull on that, which is going to help to erect this assembly. And then he'll run over and help the other two guys pick up the leg of the truss assembly and drop it down onto the rails, right? And then this guy right here, he's gonna remove the trolley and move it further down the line, and they're gonna continue to raise the truss assemblies like that. Now this framing is a little different. This is for the roll-up door. I have a 10x10 roll-up door. And this is how they build the headers. You can see that there's a piece that resembles the rails on the slab that's doubled up at the top to create the header for the roll-up door. And then these trusses have one leg attached in the back, but the front leg gets attached in place. Now, this is really interesting. So in order to get all the legs at the right height, what they do is they make a mark on the legs, a certain dimension, and then what they do is they take that shovel and they use that shovel as a fulcrum to lift up the legs, and they have a string line so they know when they've lifted it up high enough, and then the other guy comes by and secures the leg with a couple of screws. Here you can see the mark on the post and how they bring it up level with the level line. Now these guys are putting on the first pieces of tin. Now the thing I talked about the insulation is that this is referred to as radiant barrier insulation. And I did some research after the fact, and Radiant barrier is supposed to be installed with an air gap in order for it to be most effective. But this is attached directly to the framing, and then the sheeting is attached directly to it. So that in that sense, it doesn't really work. However, when they put this up, they taped all the seams, and so it actually behaved like a vapor barrier, which was something I was really concerned about because, as you know, water and moisture and cast iron tools with cast iron tops don't really mix. So in that respect, it worked out pretty good. So you can see the guys, they put it up and then they tape all the seams and then they continue to put the sheeting on one piece at a time. And here you'll be able to see them cut in one of the doors as they cut in the door right here on the end. And that particular door is going to be the location of my office, you know, once everything gets all done. That's why it's got a nice window in it. This is the boxed eave. This is what's known as a boxed eave, and this really does a nice job of trimming out the eave area of the building, so you don't have metal tubing just sticking out with tin on top of it. You wouldn't believe how many screws go in these things. And this is Ramsey. He was kind of like the team lead, and he's cutting out the opening for the roll-up door. I have to tell you, these guys, I envy them because they are super comfortable on these ladders, man. I mean, the way he steps over the top of the thing, it's it's enviable because as I'm working on the rest of the building, I'm having to spend a lot of time on ladders, and I'm not super comfortable on ladders, just to be honest. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a whole lot of footage of the roof going on, but I got a little bit here and there, so I'm just going to share what I got. I also picked up a drone so that I could get some better shots for future videos, but I'll admit that I'm not a great drone pilot as of yet, so I did the best I could, and here you go. Towards the end of the roof, some more guys showed up because they were short on insulation material. So I had 5 guys working on it, working on the roof, and they worked late into the night, but they got it done. And I got just a little bit of footage of the guys, of the plumbers, connecting the waste lines to the existing septic. This right here is a huge boulder that we found as we were trenching for the waistline, and the excavator didn't seem to be able to do much with it, so these guys had to break out pickaxes and go at it. Fortunately, it was a softer stone, and they were able to make short work of it. Thank you for checking out this video. If you like what you see here, please be sure to like and comment on the video. and it would really help us out if you would also consider subscribing. So here it is, all complete. This part of the video is shot about a month or so after the building was complete, and this is now the future home of Dreadnought Woodshop. Thanks for watching, and remember, dread not and make something. Peace.